Hi, welcome to Slim Inspirations for You. Today I've got some friends coming around for dinner and I'm going to do a 3-course meal, and I want to make sure it is healthy but also very tasty. I'm the only one in the group who's on Slim World still, but it doesn't mean that everybody else still can't enjoy the food that I enjoy. With a few tweaks, you'll see that you can actually all have the same sort of food on the table. So today I'm going to do what's called chicken mole, as in little mole in the hole. It's like a Mexican chicken, and mine's just sort of tweaked a little bit because I like to add certain other things in it. It normally comes with celery sometimes, things like that, which is not everyone's cup of tea, so I'm not going to do that today. So what I need to do first of all is I need to prepare the chicken. Now you can do this on the stove, in a pan, things like that, but I actually love slow cookers. I think you get a much better taste with the meat because it gives it time to sort of soak in over time. So normally you can use chicken breast, but I love chicken thighs, and the reason being is they don't dry out as much, and I think they've just got a bit more taste to them. Now, the only thing with chicken thighs is they are fattier, and if anyone's ever seen one of my other YouTube videos of how much fat is in the skin of a chicken, you'll understand why I want to take all the fat off and all the skin off my chicken thighs. You can buy them without, it's not always easy, and last night I was shopping and couldn't find any without the skins on, so I have bought skins on my thighs, but it's very easy to take them off. So I'm now going to show you how to remove the skins off your thighs. So you can see here, okay, there's all my little thighs. Just take one of them, move that to one side. Okay, so if you just sort of hold it out, this has got bones in it, and I want to keep the bones in because again it just adds a bit of flavour. But if you can see what I'm doing now, I'm just pulling the skin off the back, and you will see it's got like a bit of a membrane, and you literally with your hands and fingers can pull it off. It's as simple as that. And I'm going to put these to one side because I know my dogs will love it. Now you'll also see there is still little bits of fat here, which you could leave, but I just want to make it as lean as possible, so I'm going to cut it off. Just to let you know that I have got a pair of scissors here which will go in the dishwasher on a hot heat. They won't be used for anything else. When you're handling raw chicken especially, just make sure you don't use the same utensils for anything else. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. That's actually a little bit there, I'm just taking off. Okay, so you'll see there have a nice piece of chicken thigh, and actually price wise it's cheaper to buy it with the skin on and take it off. It's so easy. You'll see the bone just there. That will come off obviously really easily when I put it in the slow cooker. So let's show you another one to show you that it's not a fluke with one. Okay, I've got my thigh, just rolling it out. Okay, there's my skin, can you see? Okay, and if I pull, there we go. You don't need a lot of brute force, honestly, you don't. It just comes away. Okay, there we go, off. And you'll see there's just a little bit on this one here, so I'm just going to take this off. As I said, my dogs will love this if I cook it up for them. They don't care it's fat. There's just a little bit more there. Okay, so I'm now going to just trim this one bit off here. Okay, so again, I've got another nice lean piece of chicken thigh. So I'm now going to finish off the rest, so there's 6 of us. I've actually got a kilo here of thighs. So it's going to take me a little while, and I'm sure you're going to get bored to tears. Actually, it's 1.5 kilos, actually, I lied. I thought I'd do a bit extra so that we can have it cold, well not cold, but reheated next week as another meal. So as not to bore you, I'm going to go away now, and I'm going to do the rest of these thighs, and I'll come back and I will show you exactly what I'm going to do with them. As I said, it is dead easy, she says, putting up a little bit more, but again, that's number 3 with just a little bit of fat on the end here, still just to chut off. There we go, and that's not chut, it's chop off. I don't know what chut is, just invented a new word again. So 3 thighs there, very lean. Okay, so I'll come back later and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Okay, so stay tuned. Right, welcome back. So, as promised, I have now done all of my chicken thighs, as you can see here. Okay, so got quite a few there. I do like to keep a bit extra, and when we've got some nice hungry men around, having a bit extra is always helpful, but if anything left over, then I can easily cool it off and then use it later on in the week as another meal. So what I'm going to do now, so I'm going to use a slow cook to cook it mostly, but I'm going to brown off my chicken thighs into a little pan. So you can just hear the sizzle there, you can see that. Now these pans, if you've been on my channel before, you'll know are Berghoff pans. And I never add any fat to it, don't need to. These pans? Oh, it's from me today actually. My pans are amazing. They do not need fat at all. They just cook things absolutely out of this world. Okay, so I'm just going to stick them into the pan. You can hear them sizzling. Now remember, there's no fat in this. I've just cut off the fat, and I've also actually got a little bit there, so I can just take that off now quickly. Don't want you to just miss that little bit there. Okay, just cut that off. Okay. That's not too long. Okay, so just get them out of the way. They're just sizzling away at the moment, and there's half of them in there at the moment. I'm just going to brown them off and then stick them into the slow cooker, which is warming at the moment. If you can see, what I was about to say before I realised I left a little on, there's no fat on these chicken thighs at all. But if you can see, I hope you can see there, can you see that? There's liquid coming off it and a little bit of residual fat. That's because they've got their own natural fat, not a lot. So you don't want to keep all that skin on. It's going to make a lot more sort of fat residual at the bottom of the pan, and I don't want that. I want to keep this as healthy as possible. So I'm just browning that off at the moment. Just to give them a bit of colour. You don't have to actually. I'm quite lazy during the week. What I would normally do is I would just pop them straight in the slow cooker with all the ingredients raw, and just leave it all day. I'm at the house for about 11 hours, so it has plenty of time to cook. It doesn't really matter that it hasn't got a bit of colour on it, because the juices will actually change the sort of the texture and the colour of it anyway. So, but tonight I'm just going to, because actually what I want is I actually want some juices of the chicken thighs into the pan for the next stage of this meal. So I'm quite happy with those, I think. As I said, I'm not cooking them. I don't need to cook them, they're going to go in the slow cooker. Just going to give them a bit of colour. Okay, so let's move those over slightly and let's add all the others. And again, if you're using utensils for raw chicken, don't then use them for cooked food at all, alright? Don't want to transfer any sort of salmonella or anything that they say you can get these days. So I'm just going to give those a bit of colour. What I'm going to do is pop the lid on for a bit, just so that actually it just steams it a little bit, so I can get some of the juices off. And then once they're in the slow cooker, I can then show you the next stage of this meal. Okay, so my chicken now is nicely in my slow cooker on a bit of high, because it's only sort of 4 hours for my friends come. I'll turn it down a bit later on. But now on to the next stage, which is the sauce that goes with it. So as you can see in the pan, I've added nothing to that at this moment in time. That is purely the juice from the chicken, which is absolutely what I want. Okay, now to that I'm going to add 2 large onions, okay, which I chopped earlier. Okay, so they're going in. Okay, I'm glad I didn't chop them in front of you, because one of those onions made me cry so badly. It was awful. Okay, I'm also going to add some garlic. Now you can add cloves of garlic, and I tend to buy sort of, you know, a bulb of garlic, and then it doesn't get used. So I'm actually a real fan of lazy garlic. I think it's perfect. It stays in the fridge a lot longer, and it, you know, when you're in a rush as well, you know, to have to sort of peel a garlic. And I find, you know, even with those presses, I never get a really good amount of garlic out. So it stays probably around 4 bulbs for the amount I'm doing here. So I think a good 2 teaspoons of garlic. Okay. So I'm just going to stir that around a little bit. Okay. tablespoons full of water. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't need to be precise. Obviously, you don't want it too soggy. You don't want it too soggy, so you don't need to be too precise, but that's about right. So I'm now going to leave that to simmer for about 10 minutes, but I'm going to put the lid on just so that all the juices stay in there. Okay. Come back in 10 minutes time and we will see what we do next. Right, okay, so you'll see, I'll just move that out of your way, that the onions have started to cook. They aren't brown, but they have softened, and if it was television, this would be lovely. Can't beat garlic and onions, can you, as a smell? Okay, so now I'm going to start building this sauce up. So in here, I can show you. Can you see that? Okay, I have a big selection of spices. Now in here I have got 2 tablespoons of ground coriander. Just move that wooden spoon out for a second. Okay, 2 teaspoons of chilli, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and then I've also added to that 2 teaspoons of dried oregano, actually, something we don't tend to use very often. So that's all gone in there. So I'm just sort of adding all that in there. Okay. To that, I now need to also add in 2 teaspoons of Tabasco, and I love Tabasco. This really, you can add as much or as little as you want, really. It depends on what sort of heat that you'd like. I like heat. I'm going to serve it with rice and salad as well, so if it is a bit too hot for anybody, that will cool it down. You can also add a touch more at the end as well when you taste it. If you think actually it's not hot enough, then build it up, build it at temperature later if you want to. There you go, put a bit more good stuff. Okay, so that's now gone in. Okay. Just going to give that a little bit of a stir. As you see, just to make sure all the spices cover all of the onions. Now to this, I'm going to add 2 pots of passata. Okay, so it's quite tomatoey. Let's get my knife. So these are 400 grams worth each, so it's a lot of tomato. Just going to squeeze those in. That's really nice. Waste it. That one. And 2. Passata actually and tin tomatoes are probably 2 of the things that you'll always find in my cupboards. When you're short of time and you don't know what to do for dinner, you can sort of come up with anything as long as you've got the base and the sauce. Add cheese to it if you want to make it sort of, as a topping. You can add Worcester sauce, chilies, just any vegetables as well goes into it nicely, any meat you want. And it's great either as a very quick pasta sauce or just as a sauce with meat and some veg. It's just so versatile actually, I just love it. And it's quite, well, not healthy, but it's not fattening for you either. So great base for soups and stocks. So right, so we've got those 2 in there. I'm just going to give it a quick stir again. Just make sure nothing sticks, because with the lid off, I see any liquid in there just starts to sort of dry off a little bit. Right, okay, and then to that I've got some chicken stock. So I've got here about 200 millilitres of chicken stock, so that's going to go in there as well. Okay, I'm not going to add any salt and pepper to this because you shouldn't need it. With the stock cubes, they're very salty anyway, aren't they? So if you start adding salt to this, you're going to get a very salty dish. If people want salt with their meal, I let them put it on themselves. I actually never ever add salt to any cooking I do. I don't think food needs it, although a lot of top chefs will say it does, but that's my opinion. I think if you get really good ingredients, you don't need to add salt to it. Okay, so that's all in there now. Okay, now I'm going to just simmer this on a lowish heat, just so it boils down a little bit, and then we'll come back to it. And once it's boiled down, the plan is that I'm going to then put it through a liquidizer, just so it's a smooth sauce. If you don't have a liquidizer, then you can use a handheld one. If you want to leave it chunky, you can leave it chunky, to be honest with you. There's no hard and fast rule. I am going to make it liquidy rather than chunky, because I'm going to add a few more vegetables later on to it. Okay, so I have now liquidized the sauce and I'm going to start to build it. You can see here I've got the slow cooker. That's been on with the chicken while I've been doing all the sauce and all the other bits of preparation. As I said, this is a chicken mold, so Mexican style chicken, and I've just tweaked it to how I think I would like it, or my friends might like it later. It doesn't normally have some of the ingredients I'm going to put into it, but as with any good cooking, you make it what you want, and I'm a real advocate that you can cook anything you want in any way you want, and if it's something you enjoy, it doesn't matter, you know, if it's not in a cookbook. It's creating, isn't it? You know, cooking is like an art, I think. So let's build up the sauce, and let's build up this dinner. Okay, so take the lid off the slow cooker. So to that, I'm going to add 2 peppers. So I've cut up a green and a yellow pepper. It doesn't matter which colours you use. I just thought for colour it might look a bit nice on the plate when it's all done. I've also done some mushrooms. Now in here is probably a punnet of just normal mushrooms, and again you can use butter mushrooms, you can use chestnut mushrooms, absolutely does not matter. Okay, now I'm not going to mix that at the moment, because I know once those vegetables start cooking, it's going to go down a bit, and it's much easier to mix once it's all sort of cooked a little bit off. So I'm now going to add my sauce. Let me just take the lid off my food processor. Okay, and just pour it in for you. Okay, so here it is. I'm just going to pour it in for you. There we go. Note to self, make sure you take the middle bit out. Just put that down because it's quite hot actually, because the sauce didn't cool down. I'm not wanting to waste any of my sauce. I'm going to just get a wooden spoon and just, as you see, I have whisked it, and there is the odd bit of onion chunk in there. That's because I didn't want it to be completely liquidised. I think sometimes a bit of texture helps. I have tasted it as well, and it tasted really nice. It's got a little bit of kick in it, not too much, because I know some of my friends don't like too much spice. But for me, it's just perfect. Okay, so now I'm just going to leave that as it is. I'm not going to touch it, other than just make sure the sauce has covered the whole of the slow cooker, because that will gradually work its way down to the ingredients. There we go. All right, and all that needs now is the lid going on it. And I will come back to that. What time's it now? So it's nearly 3 o'clock now. Dinner is going to be about 7:30, so they'll be here about 7. So that's got another 4 hours of cooking, and by that time the chicken will be tender, it will be soaked into all the meats, you know, the sauce, the vegetables will be cooked, and I'm going to add, probably in about an hour's time, some kidney beans, because that's where the Mexican bit comes in, and I've got 2 tins of those to go in. So I'm just going to cook that vegetable down a bit more, because the kidney beans don't really need cooking. At the end is where my piece de resistance is going to come in, is because I am going to add some dark chocolate. You might think, wow, why would you add dark chocolate? Well, it just gives it a little bit of a different dimension, and if you've never tried dark chocolate in your food, you should. It's really good in chilies and in this Mexican cooking, because it's dark. It's got like a bitter taste, but it doesn't make the food bitter. It just transforms it. So give it a try. I've grated, I've got 30 grams here. I've grated 15 grams, and I've kept 15 grams whole. And the reason for that is I'm actually going to break up some bigger chunks and put that in around the sauce, so that sort of slowly melts, whereas at the end I'm going to put the grated on top and just mix it in. So the dark chocolate will go in 2 different stages towards the end, but I just, you know, sometimes if you put it in bigger pieces, for me it just feels it's a bit more sort of chocolatey. Okay, so come back again shortly, or keep watching this video and you will see what it looks like. I won't dish it up in the slow cooker, I'll put it into a nicer dish so you'll be able to see it a little bit more. But this really is a one pot dish if you want it to be. I've just done it separately, just as I said, I want to impress my friends this evening. I'm going to do this again and I will just stick it all in the slow cooker before I go to work, and then just put the chocolate in probably half hour before I'm serving. Okay, so let's see what it comes out like. Right, so my dish has been in the slow cooker for a few hours now, and I want to sort of give it a bit of a mix. What I did do about 5 minutes ago is put those little slabs of dark chocolate on top, just so they can melt in. So I'm just going to take the lid off now and give it a little bit of a stir. Just when you use a slow cooker, it doesn't actually take away some of the juice. So if you do it on the stove, on the hob, then obviously it will dry out a lot more. Because it's in the slow cooker and it's got the lid on, the juices all just stay in the pan. So what I'll do now for probably the rest of the cooking is keep the lid off, and then that way the sauce should actually come down. So when I'm ready to serve it, I shall come back to you.